Hello and welcome back to Avowed. We are continuing to explore Emerald Stair and we're finding that things aren't all well here. So, yeah, we have to have a little bit more of a look around and see if we can fix any of their problems. Or at least I'm assuming that's what we're going to do. We may just watch and laugh at how they're not adhering, but, you know, we may try and help. Right, so where are we going? We have this area over here, but that's all cliffs from what I remember. So, we could try going into the city, or we could try heading over this way. This looks like... Actually, one of these is probably where a treasure is. It could be any of these. I was going to say this looks like it, but it could be any of these bridges. Let's head there-ish. And then we'll see where we go from there. Right. So I'm just going to run over there, because although there's fast travel, I think this is just about as quick, given how large the area is. By that I'm meaning it's not large at all, and we're almost at the first fast travel, so there we go. We could also just head towards the city if we wanted to maybe get some quests. It might be worth us getting a quest or two. Yeah, I'm going to leave the farmer's market via this road, and we'll see where it takes us. I think that's our easiest path. And then we'll see whether we want to change that up at some point. Wait, I haven't been here. My new area? I am in a new area. Oh, I completely missed that. Also, there's a quest there. Oh. Well, this is a good place to go then. Hello.
Gods, what do I tell Sylvia? What do I tell the children? It's not bad enough that their mother a little earlier and you'd have beaten the other bandits to my crops. But I guess that's on you, isn't it?
Be serious. Do I look like a bandit to you?
I don't know. Are you? I don't judge on first impressions. I couldn't say.
You already did judge on first impressions. You accused us of being a bandit. Well. So what does a bandit look like? Go into as much detail as you want.
Don't steal and then cry about it when people call you a thief. That's what my grandfather always said.
Why don't you tell me what you lost instead of insulting me?
I left the whole pile right here. Enough food, good food, safe food to get us through the next few months. I went inside just for a moment. The bandits took everything. This was probably her last harvest. There's not a damn thing left to eat.
Is something else wrong at this farm?
What? No. We're fine. No smuggling, no dream scourge. What are you implying?
I don't know what I'm implying. But I am going to say that's a pretty specific denial.
Now you're not making sense. If you want something, out with it.
Well. If I can help, I'd like to.
Not you two. Gods. What do I have to lose? My wife, she's sick. Not a dream troll. Just sick. We've known for a while now. But treatment is expensive. There's not enough to go around. I thought if she could eat well for whatever time she had left, she'd be more comfortable. And now, it's gone. There. Are you happy?
Of course not. Now I really have to find that stolen food. What's she sick with? How long does she have? Yeah, you know what? What illness does she have?
It's weeping fever. A rose draught would clear her up. But good luck finding any to spare. When they ran away, I saw them following the river north. They're probably hiding up there, waiting to steal from someone else. You come back with my crops, and I'll give you whatever I can. You can't put a price on survival.
Well, obviously you can, because you're going to give me some sort of reward, and that will be the price on survival. Anyway. Due to structural instability caused by recent sinkhole activity, this building is condemned until further notice. Valerie, if you're reading this, please speak with Governor Vidaro for more information on relocation. As tempting as it may be to ignore the issue after so long on the road, please be mindful. It is not safe here, and you will be looked after. Anything else Oh, I was gonna say anything else going on here. I can hear loot. Aha. And more lockpicks, the most common thing in the world. In this area of the map. In the previous area of the map, not a chance. This area, ton of lockpicks. Although, to be fair, we're only getting them at the start of the area. We don't know whether the whole area is gonna... Like, this might be the whole area's supply of lockpicks. I don't think I can climb up there. It's not giving me the normal, like... Yeah, it's not giving me the normal climbing feeling. So now I've gone here. We can also have a look at this side as well. Yeah, I'll grab that. Little Margren's Fury. Some of this, some of that. Oh, I should also have a quick look at the map for where that quest is. Oh, that must be it there. Not Zurup. Revenants. Tama's thing. Wait, where is your other quest? Wait. Food theft. Yeah, where is this quest? It's over there, about 600 away. Oh, there it is. Oh, I was just looking at the wrong side of the river. Alright, cool. I'm going to switch it back to this one for now. Right. Continue exploring. Alright then. So that's obviously the gate to the city. If we had a look in this building, we haven't. Alright, let's have a look in this building. Ooh, also, lockbox. Free stuff. That's not an openable door. There is a roof that we can get to here. Because, obviously, we can just do this. Excuse me? Oh, that roof is not gettable. As in, it's got these, which seem to stop you from climbing. Alright, then. Let's explore this building as well now. Ah. Money. Nothing there. A couple people over here that we probably want to speak to at some point. Ooh. Health potion. Money. So it seems to be resupplying us pretty well. How many health potions we got now? 7 and then 15 essence potions and 17 lockpicks. That is pretty good. Ooh, another message. Those seeking the inhabitants of this building may find our new domicile within the walls of Fiora Mesiverno. Living outside the walls has simply become too dangerous. By order of Governor Vidaro, this property is to remain vacant until further notice. So they're moving everyone within the walls, whether they want to or not. Well, there might be an, alternative reason for this, or it could be what they say. Anyway, let's speak to these two.
I'm not making it up.
You're not still on about that, are you?
Me? Why do you keep insisting I have to be wrong? What about you? You're the envoy. Of all people, you should know.
About what?
I was out hunting for springberries yesterday evening when I saw a group of soldiers in the woods. I didn't linger long. I didn't want them to notice me, but they were adhering. I'm sure of it.
Did you see any sign of a camp?
Oh, none. It's like they came out of thin air. Granted, I didn't look too hard, but I also saw the most unusual woman. She was alone, but I couldn't see her face behind the cowl and mask.
Well, that would be Inquisitor Ludwig. Keep your distance from her.
An Inquisitor? Here? In Emerald Stair? What did I tell you?
I mean, we're not gonna lie.
Let's give it a rest.
We'll just, tell them the truth.
Walk in the woods type, but who knows?
Oh, she's obviously here to find something, which is perfectly her own business. We're both ambassadors. Well, not actually technically, neither of us are ambassadors. I was meaning ambassador in the general sense. We're both from Medir. I trust her to know what she's doing. She seems like a trustworthy sort. Definitely not secretly evil. Just exploring the map here, by the way, in case you're wondering about the weird zigzag movement.
I really don't think you can deny that everything wrong in Fiora obviously comes from using animancy.
We don't use animancy on our farms in Dodge. Our forests aren't trying to kill us.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what you want from me. The other animancers and I are just doing the best we can to survive.
Fior will be better able to survive if they accept help from the adherents.
True.
The adherents have already made great strides in bringing order to Paradise.
I just want to go home without being harassed.
Hello.
How else will they learn if we don't tell them how things should be?
Hello.
My wife said this would be a waste of time.
Hello.
Such a headache.
Okay, none of them actually wanted to speak to us. Seeing if anyone had chucked any money in the fountain. Probably not good to see the ambassador looking for change in a fountain, but you know, what can you do? Can I climb here? Yeah. All right. Well, we've now found Fior Messaverno. Climb. Well, nothing on this side. Yeah, this is definitely how they wanted you to get past this. Definitely going over the top of it. Right, this side. Oh, hello.
You showed up at a bad time.
Alright then, Nico.
Word of advice: give a wide berth to the governor's manor. Giata's about to tear that poor man a new one.
Giata?
One of our animancers. She's bright as a spark, but a mite confrontational. She came storming up the hill with a wheelbarrow full of spoiled crops. Then the shouting started.
Animancers fighting? This I have to see.
This isn't the first time Giata's put the governor in his place, but it might be the last.
What are they fighting about?
Look around. The town's overgrown, the crops are dying. What's not to fight about?
Just take a blessed day look outside. Doesn't take a genius to see this place is rolling downhill.
The governor's manor is on the far side of town. You can't miss it. Just follow the sound of foul language.
I was hoping to learn some local curses.
Yeah, I pretty much brought that plague bear down by myself.
Oh really, did you?
Captain Masoni said he'd never seen anything like it.
Oh, I bet.
Hello.
Enjoy Fjord.
Let him talk about our plague bear. Anyway, there's another little settlement there, but let's go into the town first. Well, when I say let's go in, obviously that's like, you know, just going in by going up the stairs. We still need to explore the outside of it. There could be anything here. There isn't, but there could be anything. Right. Now we can go in. Let's go. Our second big city. Let's see if this is any different than the first. I'm gonna expect to see a lot more animancy. Ooh. Alright then. Lots of quests. Oh, that must be the bounty board. Yeah. Quests here as well. It's not as big as Paradise, but that's alright. It's kind of like as big as Paradise's Hightown. Oh.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Come to interfere in Steel Garrote business again?
Oh, it's her again. Well, that depends. Are you doing something that requires my interference?
Certainly not. Besides, I have no more business in Fjord. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy.
Metaphysically speaking, it's unlikely that animancers are causing this plague. Animancy is dangerous, we need to rule it out as a factor. Perhaps diplomacy should be left to diplomats. Or I'd suppose the Valians don't like adherents telling them their own business. You know, we could say this one, but let's take a compromise. It's dangerous, and we need to rule it out as a factor. That's why we're here.
Good. Perhaps he will listen to you. I am not fashioned for statecraft. Still, I think the governor is too stubborn to be persuaded even by the Emperor's finest. When diplomacy fails, the Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of adherent interests.
What are you talking about?
We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace?
Yes. I think she might be a problem. Oh, do you want to talk?
May the burned queen watch over you.
And may the force be with you. Right, we'll grab that. Nothing else back here. Right, that is the bounty board. Well, we might as well grab bounties while we're here. Hello.
And all godlike. I've heard whispers that one of your kind was here in the living lands. It is a pleasure to meet you. In case it wasn't clear, I'm the point of contact for anyone with bounties to turn in. So return to me if you have any to claim.
What's your role in Fior Messaverno?
Officially, I'm one of the many researchers here. My specialty is in the anatomy of the many species of Eora.
So why are you here instead of researching?
If you must know, Vulpinet, these bounties are more pressing than my research. Someone had to be chosen to man the board. That person happened to be me. At least some of these bounties result in interesting specimens to study.
Alright.
Aura Taugori. I hope to see you soon.
Well, we have Beldereno. Attention, a reward will be given for killing the Earth Blight known as Beldereno. A number of rangers and settlers perished in a natural disaster, and now their souls are bound together in agony incarnated as the Blight. Please put them out of their misery. Alright.
Those poor souls. Please bring them peace, Saimiko. Becoming part of a Blight is not a fate I would wish upon my worst enemy.
Next, the Trantons. A reward will be given for killing the notorious Tranton bandit gang, located in the Western Forest. These outlaws are responsible for a number of raids on outlying farms. Someone needs to ensure that these raids end for good.
Oh, the Trantons. A bunch of butzos, if you ask me. But they are dangerous, I'll admit. Watch yourself out there.
Old Nuna? A reward will be given for killing an ancient and dangerous bear that's taken up residence within the grotto. Some citizens familiar with the region's history recognize this bear as Old Nuna, a beast responsible for the deaths of many rangers.
Be careful with Old Nuna. I have a theory that her longevity and hardiness are due to an inordinate suffusion of essence.
Dlemgen. Reward will be given for killing a group of Dlemgen within the Western Forest. They've been acting more aggressive lately, attacking rangers on patrol and researchers out in the field.
Ah, those Dlemgan. They're not evil, it is just in their nature to push back against the expansion of civilization. Still, survival of the fittest and all that, ne?
Ne? Zurups. A reward will be given for killing the Zurups that have taken up residence at the abandoned farms northwest of Fior. If those farms are ever to be reclaimed, the Zurups will need to be driven away from the land. Nothing on Zurups? Oh. By the way, are those the Zurups that are in... Oh no, these are separate set of Zurups. I was wondering if they were the Zurups that happen to be over here, but no. Two separate sets of Zurups right next to each other. And then Felicia's Dispatch. Wanted. Sansa, cartographer in Paradise, has reported his assistant Felicia missing in Emerald Stair. Reward will be offered for the return of Felicia's cartographic notes. Below is her last correspondence, posted to provide clues to her whereabouts. Good day to you, Sansa. I hope this letter finds you well. I am pleased to report new progress on my charts of the Emerald Stair. I have taken up near a curious ruin that the locals call Naku Tedek. Godless, perhaps? I will note it. Such architecture I have never seen. I know I should be diligent and focus on my work, but I cannot help worrying that my presence here is a burden. Though the Fiorans welcomed me warmly, it is clear they have fallen on hard times. I hope to finish quickly. I'm yet another mouth to feed. Kind regards, Felicia. Nothing on that one either. Cool. Well, hello, shop.
Can I interest you in some claveberries?
Fine.
Or better spells, perhaps?
Just gonna have a look around first. Don't you mind me. Ooh. Beautiful Hector, I write this without hope, knowing you'll never see it. Every day I come to your tea shop, watch as your lips mutter about the noise and complain about contention. Yet the only contention I feel is within my heart. I order your tea, sit in the corner as you serve other customers, but you never notice. I imagine what has captured your thoughts each time you lose focus and stare at the wall with a blank expression. Each time I wish it was me you looked at with those glazed, blurry eyes. Forever your magpie. A Brit. Alright then. Hello?
Welcome to Poria in Velino, the finest legitimate apothecary of Emerald Stair.
Why did you say legitimate? It's always odd when someone in a place like this is like, we're a legitimate apothecary, and you're like, why did you feel the need to tell me that? Are there illegitimate ones? Are you saying legitimate because you're an illegitimate apothecary and you're trying to hide it? What's going on here? How's business going?
5 summers ago, business was thriving. But now charlatans are selling crystals and essence enlargers in the streets. Add rumors of Dream Scourge and everyone is buying from these swindlers. At least you've come in.
You could profit by selling such products yourself, too.
Oh, I could, easily. But in the long run, where would that get me? I would be no better than them. I used to believe animancers would trust science, but I'm beginning to doubt that. At least I don't have to convince you.
Alright, let's see what you got. So, she sells, level 3 gear. Alright then. Alright then. I see what the expectation is here. She does only sell the basic stuff, but still. Awakened Adra, that's good. What is this? Milaletta's Conduit. So, 30% maximum wand range, 5% attack damage, and hits deal 10% bonus shock damage. That's pretty good. That's probably worth us looking at here. It's also unique. Got anything else I want? Yeah, I'll buy your essence potions and your health potions. They cost, like, almost nothing. So, like, they're worth buying. We can also sell these things, because they're all to sell. That's their purpose in life. We got anything else we'd want to sell? Probably not. I don't really need to buy this, because we can mostly find things out in the wild anyway, but... Yeah, we can mostly find things anyway, so that's fine. This I might want to buy, though, at some point. It's a pretty good wand. Like, this one, I think, is good because it has 2 bonuses, right? Which is nice. This can obviously be changed into multiple different things. So 2 bonuses. And it's already fine quality. So this does a lot of what we want it to do. Now, it has less stun and physical damage than our current thing, but remember that this does not include attack speed. Therefore, this might outperform our current weapon. In fact, it probably will. I don't have the money for it, but, you know, it might outperform it.
All ingredients are fully stocked.
We also probably want the Awakened Adra, but let's not get into that yet. Mine, 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 mine. That's how shops work, right? You just walk in and say mine and then you take it. You don't pay them anything. Ooh, where does this go? Nowhere. Alright then. What are you guys queuing up for?
No, the animancers were such shrewd business people, too.
They're buying the random junk.
They do such lovely work here, don't they? Hang on. I know you from Solace, right? I'm afraid I don't know who you are. Just as you don't know who I am. You're blessed a mad. I remember you. You're, I gotcha. So, we understand each other then. I never thought the world of animancy could be so varied and fascinating. I can make use of so much of this equipment.
So you're a Hargrun. I heard your people don't travel outside of Gallowayne's tusks.
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit unusual to see one of my people about. But I'm here on important business. If you see anyone else from Sole's Keep, just do me a favor and don't tell them you saw me.
Why not?
It's not worth talking about, really. Some of my fellow wardens might misunderstand. But we still don't even know why you're here. You know what I mean. And Marius, it was good to see you.
May you find all you're looking for and more. What I'm doing is best.
Alright then. Hello, Honest. Emil. Nope, I can't get any of his stuff, but I can get all of his spoiled, you know, fruit. So, that's a positive. Can I go in here? Yes. This is Quilichi's house. Well, that's my essence potion. The crop is ruined, there's no denying it now. The Dream Scourge has come to Emerald Stair. Vidaro insists on feigning ignorance. He wants to prevent panic, but we are losing precious time. Lives could be lost. What's more, Giata has become more restless in Fior Mesiverno. I must remind myself that I once found myself aching for the promise of something greater. I can still hear Yatsli's voice that first night in Naku Tedek. Our future is a blaze of risk. Isn't that wonderful? But this time I cannot run. Vidaro cares little for animancy or legacy. His comfort is king. I keep asking myself what the point of all this is if we abandon animancy at the first sign of struggle. Well, I mean, to be fair, you are currently starving, so, you know, maybe you should look for alternative solutions. Journal 3. I fear the worst. For days now, Giata and I passed through the gates before sunrise to record the essence in Emerald Stair's soil. The results are erratic and unpredictable. The crop, once green and plentiful, is wilted and smells of decay. The wildlife shows signs of strain. A bear emerged from hibernation months early, completely rabid. We found several sparrows fallen on the floor, dead without any sign of attack or cause, the symptom of a larger disease. Oh, that reminds me, something that I forgot to do. How difficult are the bounties? Okay, so some of the bounties are about our level, and a lot are, like, near our level. Okay, that's good to know. Just want to know, like, roughly what we're looking at outside the city. Journal 1. Today Talu approached me at the market, a bundle of greens in hand. At first glance I thought his crop had withered with the usual rot, but upon further inspection the mold shimmered with a strange gloss. I brought the bundle back to my shop for immediate testing. That doesn't sound positive. Well, let's see if we can find this guy somewhere else. Because that is his house, after all. Not his shop. Oh, hello.
Oh, you startled me. This old woman can get lost in prayer from time to time. You must be the Adiran envoy I've been hearing about. Apologies for any hardships you may have experienced getting here. The failing crops, the strange beasts, and even the Dream Scourge are all the result of our neglect of the dead.
There's no way you could be responsible for the problems facing Fior.
Oh, sure. I can't take the blame for all of Fior's problems, but my negligence has only made things worse. The dead of Fior expect certain rituals to be carried out. I have failed to perform those rituals, and now the spirits are angry.
Are you referring to the old Valian custom of offering fresh food for the recently dead?
That's exactly it. Well done. I have always observed it, and I brought it with me when I came to Fior. Our recent dead require a final meal to ease their passage from life. Without it, they can't rejoin the cycle.
You've got people waiting in line for their next meal, and you want to waste food on the dead?
I got food from the grain merchant stores. I just need someone to leave it at the graves. The dead will take it from there.
Flesh and bone. They bring the fruit to those who cannot eat. What tree calls for its branches to endure these rituals?
I believe this ritual is carried out more for the grieving survivors than for the spirits of the dead. Or did you steal this food from the town larders? Let's ask if she stole it.
I did, yes. With things the way they are, there was no other way to get what I need for the ritual. If I didn't think this was important, I wouldn't have taken the food. But this ritual is the key to everything. I know Elena would understand how important it is to pay tribute to the dead.
Let's see. I believe this ritual is carried out more for the grieving survivors than for the spirits of the dead.
The ritual heals all. The spirits get one more taste of life, and the living get to offer one last gift to the dead.
What do you need us to do?
You must take these offerings of food and place them at 3 grave sites where the recently dead lay. The first offering goes to a cliffside grave on the southern coast.
Whose bodies rest there?
Loggers from the old days. They sacrificed themselves to make the land habitable and lost their lives to creatures of the untamed forest. The second offering goes to a grave in the swamp, far to the west from here.
Whose spirits wander near the swamp?
They buried the bodies of settlers there, intrepid sorts that tried to tame the farther reaches of Emerald Stairs wilds. The final offering should be taken to the truffle farm east of Fjord, where a family lost their lives to the encroaching wilds.
What can you tell me about this final grave?
Such a tragedy. A young family lost their lives there as the wilds encroached, swallowed before they could even flee.
Well, I think we're going to do it, because our general policy is to do what people ask of us to do, unless we've got a specific reason not to do that, essentially. So, we hope this will calm your angry spirits.
I believe it will do exactly that. The spirits will find closure and rest, and the living can move on from this recent tragedy. Be careful, friends. The angry spirits lash out blindly. I cannot predict what awaits you at these graves.
Next time you want to tour graveyards, I'm staying at camp. We should help the living and let the dead rest.
I can't thank you enough for helping to ease the conscience of an old lady. Please, return when the rituals are complete.
Now I take the food back to the grain merchant, come back to her and say, yep, did it. Yep, done all the rituals. And then that's it. I don't know, we'll see. Edict of Subsistence. By order of the governor's will in office, all greens, fruits, and grain of the earth are to be rationed by Fiora's proper authority, effective immediately. These temporary measures shall be in place until further notice. Any attempts at subversion shall be swiftly dealt with. Ignacy Vadaro, Belle Savant of Emerald Stair. A door we can open. Before I do that, though, let's go up here. See what's going on around the back here. A door. This is upstairs in that guy's house? I think it is. Well, continue stealing. Small book. The reduced size of this book indicates it was made for the hands of kith smaller than you. Despite this, the book is still easy enough to read. An old, faded bookmark denotes a favoured passage. At the sound of heavy footfalls approaching, and then moving past Cordwin's hideaway, he couldn't help but smile affectionately. His lover had never been very observant, so it was no surprise the dwarf had missed the hidden entrance despite Cordwin's instructions. The young Orlin, diminutive even among his own people, leaned forward and poked his head out between the curtains. His voice was an amused whisper as he called out, "Vansar, down here!" Cordwin stifled a laugh as Vansar jumped in surprise at the voice behind him. The dwarf's annoyance quickly faded to an amused acceptance as he saw the delight clear as day on his Orlin paramour's face. "Fia too, Cordwin. You nearly scared me straight to Berth's realm." Cordwin rolled his eyes at the exaggeration and quickly darted back into his hideaway. Moments later, Vansar's grunts heralded his entrance into Cordwin's small den. It was a cozy little place tucked into the outer walls of the sea, full of pillows and a single dim lantern turned down low. Cordwin gave Vansar a small kiss on the cheek once the dwarf had finished squeezing his way into the den. "I'm sorry about the shock, really," Cordwin said, "but seeing you jump like that was pretty funny. Anyway, what do you think? Not a bad place to hide, huh? Vansar looked around thoughtfully. He couldn't help but begrudgingly admit that it was a cozy little place to pass an evening. Not that he'd say as much to Cordwin, however, of course. Instead, he simply shrugged. Oh, don't be such a stick in the mud, Vansar, Cordwin teased. Guess I'll just have to prove how nice a hideout it is, huh? Without waiting for a response, Cordwin dove at Vansar, catching him by surprise and tackling him to the ground. As their lips met and Orlin fur entwined with dwarven beard, the pair felt truly home. I think this is meant to be outer walls of the city. That's how I'm reading it. I've never seen the word sea, but maybe, well, maybe it's just a new word. It's always possible. Letter. Darling, I wish you could have joined me this time. I understand Vidaro needs his hand held at the best of times, let alone during the onset of a famine, but still, ruins are a little more beautiful with you here to explain things to. Of course, you can't join me now, even if Vidaro has suddenly grown competent. I've explored this ruin thoroughly, and I'm sure the locals are sick of me by now. So don't miss me too much, my dear. I'll be home soon. Yatsli. I get the feeling we're going to be tracking down Yatsli at some point. You know, given that they appear to explore ruins. Wait a second, is Yatsli the pink-haired person who we saw? I think that might be her name, actually. I'm starting to get that feeling. Alright. This place seemed like it had more in it, but... As in, like, it seemed like it was... I was opening the door to something meaningful, but... Just more loot. Which is fine. I can take the loot. It's running on top, so I don't have to use my gun to destroy these things. I have to use my gun on that one. Dustline note. Gathered supplies, 5 days rations, 3 disinfectants, 1 large canvas bag, 2 steel daggers, 1 pistol, 4 bullets. Still needed, set of disarming tools, 3 lockpicks, more if possible. You've been breaking too many lately, spare change of clothes. A fat bottle of celebratory wine bought with all the money you're going to make on this. A backbone so you finally make the goddamn trip to the Tusks. So this is a dwarf looking to go to the Tusks. I'm guessing to Gallowayne's Tusks. I'm assuming, anyway. Right, so just throwing boxes in here for no reason, basically. Boom. Wonderful. Glad we've done that. And then this just leads us... nowhere? Huh. Guess it's to show us how some of this place has been taken over by... ooh, love that as well. Yeah, show us how this place has been taken over by like trees and things, same as elsewhere. Alright, well, let's go this way. And down here, and into the bottom part of that building.
Empty again.
Yeah, seems that way.
Vidaro says the current crop looks promising.
How can he know that? He's not a farmer.
Be patient. He hasn't steered us wrong before.
Okay, so they trust Vidaro, seems. Can't even speak to them. I can just steal stuff from them. Just working out where we are. So if I run up here, that's the other side of this. That makes sense. Hello? 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 Nope, nobody wants to speak to me. Animancers.
I am not accustomed to failure.
Ugh, neither am I. But it happens to the best of us, no? They made up their minds before we even started.
Sorry, it looked like I could destroy that Animancers. Do you want to talk?
It's okay, we'll try again.
But it's the 3rd time.
You know how it is. Their standards are impossible. It isn't personal.
Of course it's personal. It's the Animancer's workshop.
I have a research background. Perhaps I can help. Also, I've broken into your house.
I'm not sure our work is quite ready for peer review.
Maybe we need some feedback on our proposal.
Using essence to cure male flaccidity is uncharted territory. I'm sure of our thesis.
I'm not going to say you would use it as for something as trivial as that. I'm going to say, I'm just going to treat it as like an academic experiment. I would think soul essence would be the perfect thing to enliven the male member.
Our thoughts exactly. Our experiments have been very successful on animals and vegetation.
We treat this important issue with the utmost respect, even down to the proposal's title.
What do you think of this? Boning without bones, essence and the performativity of male anatomy.
Consider this. From stick to stone, using essence to augment male performance.
May I suggest erecting the future, the burgeoning science of manomancy?
That's brilliant, huh? Simply brilliant.
We've done it again.
Wait until they read this. The days of packing rope are at an end.
Well, glad I could help. I'm going to steal some more from you, by the way, if you're all right with that. Nothing else here. Rejection letter. Thank you for your humble application to the Animator's Workshop of Fior Messaverno. We regret to inform you that the admittance cannot be granted at this time. While your proposal on using Adra implements to siphon essence to specific genital features of male anatomy was certainly unexpected, we suggest you reconsider your suggestions for practical application. Sincerely, Pierre Quilisi, Animator's Workshop. Well, that's, you know, a nice enough rejection letter, as rejection letters go. They're never nice, but, you know, that one was alright. Oh, I'm just wondering what this is reflecting. Oh, it's not reflecting, it's a window. I thought it was a mirror, but it's a window. Obviously it's a window, but like I thought it was mirroring like this. And I was like, that's not right. Must be something down there. Party note. The note is hastily scrawled, but radiates with love. LM. I hope this note finds you well. What's an occasion despite the lackluster fruit? You always were the life of the party despite your claims otherwise. I look forward to more antics soon. Until we meet again, FB. Well, don't know what to do with that.
Giata, what's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it.
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now.
Hello.
How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike?
Looking into the Dream Scourge. Let's say you must be Giata. Actually, you know what? Rupert, at your service.
Charmed. Forgive me for staring. It's just, we don't see many of your kind anymore.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion.
Let's say private discussion. You're arguing in the middle of town. We're not going to tell him who we are just yet. We're just going to let him keep digging.
We have Giata to thank for that.
As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now our farms.
Well, your governor disagrees.
We can't lose our heads over some half-cocked speculation.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the dream scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did.
Thought animancers leapt at bold experimentation. But you do, what would it take for you to fix this? It's difficult to ignore dying farms once you start starving, or maybe he's just being cautious. I thought animancers leapt at bold experimentation.
They do. And that's the kind of reckless behavior I'm trying to avoid.
Reckless is all we have time for. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Chiata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark.
Let me take her off your hands? Wait, is she a companion? Ooh. Let's say, what's the worst that could happen?
Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart.
If we work together, I wouldn't stand between you and your ambitions. Maybe we can solve the Dream Scourge rationally, let cooler heads prevail. I share the governor's doubt, but you're right. Or what was that about your family's basement? Yeah, I want to know.
It's nothing. Our governor is backed into a corner and lashing out. I almost respect him for it. Buy me a drink sometime, and I'll tell you all about my family's basement.
Ale, wine, or something stronger?
All of the above. I have a lot of forgetting to do. Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Chiata.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Chiata Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Whoa, you're banishing her for that?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Chiata is an outcast.
Wait a second. We never agreed to take her. We also didn't tell you who we are. We're just a random person to you right now. What a weird conversation. I can tell how it happened, but still, weird. Let's say, Giata, are you okay?
It's a bit too soon to tell.
Governor, this is unacceptable. Your father would have kept this community together at any cost.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
Alright, whoever you are.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
Did we just agree to let her join us? Because I don't think I agreed to that. Also, oh, I can't pick up the rotten food. Would sell it all for one. Missing person. Maxim Vidaro. I'm offering a substantial reward to anyone who can locate the remains of Maxim Vidaro. He vanished in the wilderness of Emerald Stair 10 years ago. His journal is also missing. I will accept it as proof of the discovery. Maxim was our founder, my father, and devout Skanite. He would not have left us without good reason, so I have every reason to believe he hasn't gone far. Ignacy Vidaro, governor at Fior Messiverno. That's weird. That's very weird. Wait, let's just documents, lore, and it doesn't need to find anything on Skane. Am I looking for something else other than lore? I guess I might not be looking for Maybe here? Nope. I was wondering if there was like a glossary. Or like of terms that we've seen. Now let's just see here. Is there anything that talks about Skane? It's going to be difficult to tell. It's all a little bit vague. Yeah. Okay. So we'll leave that for now then. But my thought was that Skane is basically like a it's like a bit of anarchy and chaos going on there. So it'd be odd to have that be a founder of a colony. It's like, especially if they're devout. But anyway, I'll steal that pie. You can also go back to that guy's house and see whether he's now there. Although he might be outside the walls now. What about up here? Ooh. Mine. You notice how few of the of the lock boxes are locked in this area of the map? It's weird. Like, they gave us so many more lockpicks and then also made it so like almost nothing was locked here. It's almost like they thought in like as they were developing it that they put in too much of the lock stuff and they just thought, you know what, let's just leave them chests. It's very odd. Anyway. Well, I mean, I'll just keep having a look around here then, I guess. I can get a key to unlock that, so no reason to break in, well, right away. That's not a real door. Hello.
By tradition, the governor's manor is open to the public.
Oh. Well, that's good then. Explains why I'm allowed to just wander around. Seeing what doors we've got. Oh, this isn't anything, really. Let's head in here. Nice piece of stained glass. Some books. The governor himself. Oh, we'll be back in a minute, governor. We'll be back. I hear loot. Well, actually, I see the bedroom key. Then, Valian breastplate. A medium armor that is fine quality. Let's have a look at that. So, damage reduction. So it gives extra damage reduction and extra damage reduction in 2 ways, and it gives you movement speed. So this is the I just want pure stats. I don't want any fancy stuff. I don't want it to do anything weird. I just want it to give me stats. I want it to make me like tankier, and I want to make me move quicker. This is actually probably really good earlier in the game because like I feel like it will just make you invincible. The problem is later you go, that 1 extra damage reduction and the 2% damage reduction, that's not going to do anything later. Anyway. The Rangers of Fior Messaverno are known for their distinctive armor. Though perhaps not the best attire suited for tromping around the wilderness, the armor's design is undeniably effective. Despite the extra chain and padding reinforcing the armor's weak spots, the armor does nothing to slow the wearer down. Emblazoned on the front of this breastplate is the symbol of Fior Messaverno, featuring the 5 stars from the flag of the Valian Republics above a symbol representing the Wheel of Reincarnation in honor of the animancers of the city. Let's send it to camp, just so we can pick up more junk while we're here. I'll have that. His journal. I have sworn to protect the people on my family's honor, that there is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair. Or I've sworn to the people on my family's honor that there is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair. If it exists, it cannot touch our lands. When I'm alone at night, I must remind myself of that promise again and again, even if I must scream it to these empty halls. So why do I feel threads pulling away from the fabric of my community while I strain to hold them together? It's the old man and his protege, his protege, or else my imagination, but probably them. Mother's condition isn't helping my cause, neither does wine. Right. Well, glad we broke our way in there. Just gonna go downstairs and let myself into this bedroom, which is probably his mother's bedroom based upon, Did you say, Oh, it was this. That was spreading green fog, but...
I've got a powerful feeling we weren't supposed to see this.
Letter to my son. Ignacy, I write this in a rare moment of clarity. Before he left us, your father was a proud, stubborn, wonderful man. Let me offer you a word of advice on his behalf. Those who rule with power are destined to be overthrown by power. Those who rule with heart are destined to be cherished long after they are gone. I can feel the fog drifting back over my thoughts. Goodbye, Ignacy. Hopefully not for long, your mother Estel. Shimmering wings, gnashing teeth, chew through the dirt. Where are my hands, Ignacy? Where are my hands? My hands, my hands, my hands. That sounds like more of a skein thing than anything else. Flower of Winter by Maxim Vidaro. So this is by his father. The Valian Republic swindled me out of the Sangreta Ducala, denied me my born right to lead Sperento's government. I would not take such insults lying down. Skane was behind me all along, whispering into my ear, caressing my shoulder with skinless fingers. Together we sowed a revolution. Now you can actually taste the fruit it bore. I can only imagine the day Sperento awoke to discover the empty halls of academia, the pillaged libraries. Where did our brightest minds go? Where are the animancers? They blamed me, yet they had no one to blame but themselves. We journeyed to this frontier in defiance of the Valian Republics. We remain because our community is a living revolution, proof that we can thrive without a golden chain around our necks. Ah! I see the way they framed it. So, I was thinking Skane had something that wasn't going to be good for, like, a stable government, and it's the like revolution stuff that he supports. That I think is that works with how they've done it here, because they're saying that the whole this whole community is still a revolution compared to where they came from, as in this is still a defiance of where they came from, and that's how it's framed. So through that framing, I can see how it might work. Alright, you got anything to say?
Teeth dancing in and out of my mouth.
Although, that's quite definitely the Dream Scourge. That's 100% the Dream Scourge. Hopefully he can find his way out of there. We have some questions to ask you now. But before we do... Ooh. Anonymous letter. Governor Vidaro. All this talk of the Dream Scourge infecting the land has grown too loud to ignore. If it's just Quilishi, we could see our way past it. Call him senile and the discussion's over, yes? Now Giata is speaking for him, and you'd be hard-pressed to find an animancer who doesn't trust Giata Castel. To put it plainly, we demand results of one kind or another. Let the old man do his research or find some way to discredit him. If you're lucky, he'll discredit himself. What are you afraid of, Ignacy? We wonder. Either way, this has to end. It's tearing us apart. Your father would have put a stop to it by now. With patience, your friends in town. That's another with friends message. We had one of those back in Paradise. Giata's agricultural report. Governor, my research points to one inevitable conclusion. The harvest will fail. Before you ignore me again, read on. Listen, my father spoke of a river of souls flowing through the island. The souls feed our crops and power our machines. We agree on that much. What do you think happens when the river gets polluted? If you don't believe me, look at your own farms. The soil is hollow. It might even have the Dream Scourge. The time has come to break the bones of the living lands and set them in a more agreeable fashion. It may be Fior Mesiverno's only hope. We should discuss this in person. I'm confident you'll see reason. Best, Giata Castel. I mean, he does have it on his desk still. It's like one piece of correspondence actually sitting on his desk. So he probably does believe it. Final Journal of Jonas. My son. Tomorrow I become the effigy. Tomorrow becomes Skane's embodiment on Eora. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip. For months we met by secret conclave to plot our landlord's demise, all the while working the fields as if our hearts were content. Skane teaches us to plot with the mind while keeping one's face impassive, inscrutable. Fair fights are for those with armies. The quiet slave is our whetstone, our focus. In his worship, our cause finds focus, clarity, and possibility. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip. By the time you read this, I will be dead. I pray Skane does not abandon me for speaking of my plotting, but his son deserves to know how his father died. For I volunteered to be the effigy. Skane will inhabit my body, using this old farmer's simple flesh as a puppet of godly rage. I've been shaved and anointed. Tomorrow morning I will be your father in name only, as my manhood will be removed, my nose and ears removed, and my useless mortal eyes will be replaced with flintstones through which Skane might see the world. My son, I am sorry for the lies I have told you these past few seasons, but Skane demands secrecy. Even your mother knows nothing of my furtive service to the quiet slave. Curse my name if you must, but never weep for me, for I die for the betterment of our community, to smite our lord's corruption from the face of Eora. Tomorrow, my master chokes on his own whip, for tomorrow I become the effigy. Well, that's quite a final letter. Skaneite scripture. Hey, I was just looking for a book on Skane and suddenly filled with books on Skane. Also, look, I know your people are starving. You could get a duster up there, right? I mean, you are showing this place off to people. Anyway. Skaneite scripture. Burn. Feel thy hatred twist within thee. Feed thyself in its bile, sustain thyself on its anger. This hatred, this bile, this anger, these shall be the tools for thy rebellion. Let thine heart seethe. There is no satisfaction in open confrontation. Hide thine hatred, let it grow that it may fester. Make thy plots in secret. A quiet slave stays in the shadows, his face seeks not the light. In darkness doth he work, in darkness doth he move. Rebel against those who seek to control thee. Rebel against those rebel against those that wish to remove thee. Yeah, you see, from the scripture, it really doesn't sound like, it seems like it would be a great god to follow for breaking free and raising a rebellion and all of that sort of stuff. Doesn't really seem like it's going to be that great for ruling. Anyway. Estel's copy of the Midwife's Memoirs. The title page is inscribed, "To my beloved Estelle, in celebration of your quickening, I know how our Queen of Birds comforts you. Hylia's wings bear you both on safe winds in the months to come. With love, your Maxim." My mother lived every note of life's song. Bringing me into this world was her last verse. For this my father scorned me and abandoned me, and for this very same fact my town's midwife and adherent of Hylia raised me as her own. When I came of age, I learned that Hylia visits us on the screams of women in childbirth, and when a woman gives birth, when a woman dies giving life to her child, her soul is carried away and reborn as an avian attendant of Hylia's court. Through the miracle of the Queen of Birds, my mother has been with me, watching over me my whole life. I wear the fetish charms of the cloud singer, the bird I dreamt my mother became. My feathery trinkets look gaudy and unbecoming, but it is a signifier to women in need that I am a trained midwife, blessed by Hylia, and living every note of life's song. The Queen of Birds wills us to shepherd new life into the world, and not, as the other gods so often desire, to end it. A follower of Magrin once mocked my faith, saying I worship paintbrushes and birds, piddling things beneath the gods. I do not resent the other gods and the brutal necessities that they must oversee, but is it not language, love, the arts and creativity that which separates us from simple beasts? Hylia allows us to rise above our savage feral selves. I am often amused that upon seeing our holy aviaries, visitors frequently ask, "This is nice, where's the real Temple of Hylia?" Perhaps they think hallowed ground requires oppressive stonework and ceilings that hide the sky. They do not realize the Bird Queen stands not on ceremony. She makes herself manifest in the music of birds and in the beauty of the ubiquitous open sky. Actually, I think we might have read this already, but We haven't read Estel's copy. Hylia prefers the worship of 2 children singing over 1,000 petitioners secretly praying for victory. The Sky Mother asks so little of us, and yet so much. We are charged to live every note of life's song. It surprises me how many fail to embrace this divine calling. What else have you got in here? Animancy in the modern age. Animancy is a science both respected and reviled, sometimes by the same person. For all the research done on the topic, we still know so little. Control over life itself, something animancers have been working towards for hundreds of years. There are no real records of how the practice of animancy was first discovered, but once the spark of knowledge ignited, there was no stopping its inevitable discoveries. In 2260 AI, animancers, as a result of their extensive research, successfully contained and transferred a soul. The subject of that experiment, whose name is unknown, was young and wealthy, but infirm. The idea was to move his soul from the dying body and into that of a recently deceased man who had suffered an accident. The new body, bearing only slight decay, would house the soul, giving the man a much better life. The outcome of this experiment resulted in the condemnation and outlaw of animancy in the Adirian Empire. Again, while we have no true records of what happened, as they were all destroyed after animancy was outlawed, a journal was discovered, a makeshift confession by one of the participants. Excerpts from this journal follow. 2260 AI, Von Prima 16. It is done, and the gods forgive us for our arrogance. I'm not sure what I was expecting. Certainly not that. But what did any of us expect? Still, behind the revulsion there is a sense of pride. Something I can't deny. All the research, the studying, everything we worked for. We thought we'd change the world. How it's changed. All was in place, the twisted form lying on the table next to its new vessel. The equipment had been prepared. The tinctures and potions, all carefully crafted, every detail painstakingly organized to ensure success. We most assuredly succeeded. The procedure went exactly as it should. The soul extracted from the old body, held, bound in place to prevent it from moving on. Then, the next step, transfer to the fresh vessel. It was beautiful and terrifying. I listened as they spoke the words of binding. I watched the soul move, not the soul itself of course, but the vapor we used to detect it, as it lowered into the vessel. A gentle luminescence covered the body, and then nothing. Silence, darkness. I held my breath, afraid that even the slightest disturbance would destroy all our hard work. Then motion. Then, dear gods, then blood. How did I survive? I do not know. The vessel rose from the slab and the room breathed. Every person crowded around the tables exhaled. Some cheered. We had made life from death. We had become eternal. The body closed its eyes and tilted its head, looking for all purposes to be listening for something, or to it. Then its eyes popped open and it moved. Its lips peeled back from its teeth in a horrible expression of fury. It fell on the nearest man, tearing his throat, knocking him to the ground. Then the room erupted into screams, shouts, and a flurry of bodies running, pushing, doing everything in their power to get away from the creature sitting on their colleague. But right before that happened, in the split second before the chaos, when there was nothing in the air but a stunned, terrified silence, I heard it. Sitting there on his chest, face at his neck, and it was feasting. So, effectively, from what we can understand, they made a zombie. Which, yeah, you can see how they probably wouldn't want that. And last, we have the Orochian calendar? Orochian calendar? Named after the inventor who studied the motion of the stars, Orochio's calendar replaced its less practical predecessors in 2680 AI. The Adirian calendar was steeped in the traditions of its post-tribal kingdom, and included days of reverence devoted to political stations long since rendered obsolete. According to Orochio's observations, Eora takes 334 days of 27 hours each to orbit the sun. He divided the 16 months of 20 days each equally by their seasons. Whether or not it coincided with the Adirian calendar, farms and smaller communities traditionally reserved 3 days for prayer and preparation between each season. Urukio factored these days into his calendar, as well as those reserved for celebrating the beginning and midpoint of the year. The names of the months and adjacent days of celebration are listed below with Valian translations. New Year. A day to celebrate the arrival of the new year. Of all the holidays, this one is celebrated by most people around the living lands and in the Valian republics. Each new year is greeted with a fervent zeal to begin things anew and start with a fresh slate. Deep winter. Foniverno. Late winter. Taraverno. Spring dawn, 3 days. In Prima, used to celebrate the transition of the world, rebirth, and spring. Ethosian festivals are especially prevalent at this time, or were prior to the Saints' War. Early spring. Preprima. Mid-spring. Majprima. Deep spring. Von Prima. Late spring. Tar Prima. Summer rising, 3 days. Inestu. A period of transition from birth to growth. Many ceremonies designed to usher children into adulthood take place during summer rising. Early summer. Priestu. Midsummer. Majestu. Mid-year. A day of reflection and introspection. The year is half over. People who made promises on New Year use mid-year to assess their progress and renew their oaths. That, I feel, is something missing from a lot of our New Year resolutions. A lot of them are gone by 2 days in. Deep summer. Fonestu. Late summer. Terestu. Autumn falling, 3 days. In autumn, harvest celebrations happen during autumn falling if the crops were particularly bountiful. If the harvest was small, supplication is given to the gods asking for a better harvest the following year. Early autumn. Pre-autumn. Mid-autumn. Majautumn. Deep autumn. Bonautumn. Late autumn. Tarautumn. Winter dusk. 3 days. Iniverno. Winter dusk is filled with celebrations of life and vigils for the dead. The world is returning to sleep. Plants die and those still alive raise a toast to another year. Early winter. Priaverno. Midwinter. Magiverno. Okay. Verno is obviously winter. Iverno. Wait, yeah, and that's winter dusk is in Iverno. So Iverno is winter. Now, that's interesting because this place is called Fior Mes Iverno. So we don't quite know. I don't know if we know what Fior means or Mes, but Iverno is winter. So this final place of this place's name is winter. Huh. We read this book? Yeah, that's the... Okay, that's the midwife one. It didn't disappear because it didn't get added to our notes. I see.
I'm sorry you had to witness that spectacle. Giatta is a spirited animancer, but she can be intolerable at times. Whatever you may think of us, I welcome you to Fior Mes Iverno.
Wait a second. Does it tell me? No, it doesn't tell me what it means. Okay. Thought I'd just check. Why don't you listen to Giatta or Quilici?
Quilici wants us panicking over what he can't even prove. If there's a threat to Emerald Stair, it's that old man and his fear-mongering. Don't waste your time on him.
Why are you so afraid of him?
He was loyal to my father, but never to me. And he knows how to rally others to his side.
He reminds me of a lieutenant I served under. Led us into a trap because he wouldn't admit his maps were wrong.
If there's nothing more, I have a city to run.
We have a couple of things to start with, but... let's see. I guess he still doesn't know where the... yeah, he doesn't know where the envoy yet. Still? Just kind of weird. Also... yes, I remember what I was going to say. That's not what I was looking for. I didn't want to toggle subtitles. Where are we? He was loyal to my father. He knows how to rally others. Follower of Skane? That would line up. Why is your mother locked up in her bedroom?
I knew I heard someone snooping about. And you have the gall to confront me like a common criminal. This conversation is over.
Does she have the Dream Scourge?
That is not a topic for discussion. I'll hear no more of this. You go about your business, and I'll go about mine. If you'll excuse me, my time is precious.
Mine is more. I'm not going to tell you about the food for the deceased. Quite frankly, you don't deserve it. He won't even give me the information I needed. That's why I'm mad. I'm not mad that he's keeping his mother locked up. I'm mad that he won't tell us about it. I'm curious. Right, so let me go check this guy's house over here as well. That was this house, right? Ow. This house, right? I should probably heal after that. I mean, we do have 200 healing items. I suppose I could use one to heal. Okay, it's not back in his house. He must be with our... well, I assume our new companion, because the game was giving me absolutely no way to say no to her joining, so... Not that I would have said no if I'd known she was a companion. It's just like, the game was very much like, she's joining you. Even without it even being an option, it didn't even force us to select an option. It was just like, she's joining you. There was no option to select, because she was already joining us. Ooh, mine. Amazing how much money people just leave sitting between them. Ah, this is an inn. I understand. And this is mine. Apprentice Animancer's Diary. 7th of Terestu. I finally done it. I'm studying at the academy. My dreams come true. The equipment here far exceeds anything available to me at home, and the knowledge. My colleagues are also brilliant. One has even offered me a great boon. Ollie says he has a way of enchanting one's trousers to elevate one's performance in the bedroom. He says it's still experimental, and I mustn't tell anybody, but he promises results. Perhaps I should find a lover for keeps within this bastion of animancy and kindness. 5 days later. I'm confounded. My colleagues snicker as I pass. Their laughter is undeniable. I do not understand. However, have I committed some great faux pas? Hopefully they can forgive my ignorance. 15th of Terestu, so 3 days later. To do. Formulate plan to retrieve pants from atop Monto's animancy machine. Formulate plan to reclaim my honor. Extract revenge upon Ollie. Perhaps try the essence enlarger offered in the town square. For reclaiming your honor, if you tried finding the avatar, I've heard that's the way to reclaim your honor. Right, so grab that, grab that. Anything else in here? No, nothing else in here. I can hear loot, but I think it's outside. I mean, we are in the city. There's probably loot everywhere. Right. Back this way. And anything down this way? Nope. Cool. I'm just exploring the inner bits as well, like these random bits in between, so that then I can just focus on the edges still. Basically, like I'm just doing a jigsaw puzzle in terms of like how I'm exploring.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amico.
Hello.
Well, I was not expecting such an esteemed guest in my humble workshop. Are you in need of any weapons or armor? The roads haven't been safe as of late.
I love how everybody else knows that we're the envoy, and the governor's like, I don't know. He could be anyone. What can you tell me about this metal? Star metal.
Is that Gelarde? This is star metal. Very rare stuff. Where did you get this? Nay, don't tell me. I'd be tempted to go looking for some more, and that would certainly not end well.
What makes this metal so special? Actually, are you sure? For a small fee, I'll tell you where I found this.
No. As tempting as that offer is, I am certain.
What makes this metal so special?
Star metal is exceptionally dense. It weighs much more than one would think from its size. More fascinating, however, is that this metal is suffused with dormant essence. This makes it naturally susceptible to enchantment.
Can you do anything with it?
Ah, no. Unfortunately, I don't know how to work the metal into anything useful. Only enchanted. I did receive a shipment from Solace Keep recently, however. A mace crafted out of star metal, brought to me by a trader from Galloway's Tusks. I suggest you make your way there if you're looking for someone to work that beautiful metal into a proper weapon.
Galloway's Tusks? Come on, it can't be that complicated. I bet you 5 skates a Smith and Thirdborn would know what to do with this stuff.
I'll take that bet.
And I'll take your money, eventually.
Is there anything else I can help you with, amigo?
I wonder how long a term that is and whether that will actually come up again. Do animancers have much use for weapons and armor?
Nay, not really. But not all of us in Fiora are animancers, you know. Besides humble craftsmen such as myself, we have the rangers to outfit. Under normal circumstances, I'd not sell to a traveler like yourself. But as I'm sure you've seen, these are not normal circumstances. Care to see what I have?
But first, it's Fiora Messaverno again. It won't tell me what Fiora means. So you're not an animancer?
Officially no, but I have been known to dabble with essence infusion here and there. I have one such item for sale, actually. A beautiful mace made of star metal, crafted by the finest smiths of Solace Keep and enchanted by yours truly. It is a wonder to behold. Care to see?
Show me your wares. Alright, so he sells a bunch of purple stuff as well. He sells the Awakened Adra and then Lodestone. So, yeah, obviously it does more damage than R1 because it's melee. Power attacks deal low stun to nearby enemies and then more stun. So this is like a pure stun weapon. I see. Cool. I'm not reading the lore. We don't deserve the lore if we can't buy it. Right. Buy all of those. Also, what's weird is that food isn't a higher price here. I know that that might seem a little callous, but you know, if they've got such a food crisis, I'm carrying like 50. I'm carrying 4 tomatoes and 11 turnips. Surely that's got to be worth something, right? Ah, that takes us to Emerald Stair. Well, that's fine by me then. That's just a way out. Let's continue exploring. What about over here? What have we got in this place? A door. Well, that's impressive. It's a big piece of Adra. Well, before I speak to you... Actually, I was going to explore up there. You know what? Before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this moment, because this guy looks like he's going to be important to speak to. I'm going to take this moment to end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.